Well, hello again, and again I didn't really expect to be making a video quite so soon. There's a couple of things I missed yesterday. I uploaded two videos yesterday, part one and part two immediately after it, and I thought it was a bit curious that the part two seemed to get a lot more views than the part one, and I thought, I wonder if they're sort of people are clicking on the latest video and missing the one that I'd uploaded sort of half an hour before it. So just in case that is the case, I did put up, can't remember what I called it now, but part one and part two yesterday. So you might be interested to take a look at those. Now, something I missed out, and I should have included really, and that was that Lou Elizondo, one of our favourite piffle peddlers, is now saying he's been threatened. So he doesn't say who's threatening him, of course, because that could be checked out and verified or not, as the case may be. And just because it's a good idea to weave a little bit of fact into the fiction, he's mentioned the Boeing whistleblowers. You know, there's two Boeing whistleblowers that have died recently. And he's trying to give the impression that he's a whistleblower and he could be killed. And he's saying, you know, he's not suicidal, he's not feeling unwell, etc., etc., etc. So if he dies in the not too distant future, investigate it because it will be a suspicious death. That's what he's saying. He's trying to create a bit of intrigue. Because to be honest with you, no one gives a damn what Lou Elizondo says. That's the bottom line here, isn't it? I mean, supposedly when he worked at the Pentagon and he had this hobby program, ATIP, running, he went to his boss in the Pentagon and said, look, you know, we have all this information about UAPs and all this sort of stuff, and this information should be released to the public. And his boss said, well, we're not going to do that, Lou, it's all top secret. So Lou said, well, I don't like that very much, so I'm going to quit. You can shove your job up your pimply posterior. Now, in order to do that, he wrote two different resignation letters, apparently. I think, I wonder if one or both of them contained the word arse. Now, the thing is, he resigned because his boss wouldn't release this information. He said he was going to do it. He was going to be a civilian to release this information to the public. But he's never done that, has he? All he ever does is, oh, you know, I can't talk about that. That's all he ever says. So he's not released any information to the public, has he? Now, and he's saying he's being threatened, doesn't tell us by who. I think that completely lacks credibility, personally. And as I say, he talks about the Boeing whistleblowers to make you think that it could be credible when it isn't. It's like David Grush, you know, and all these other whistleblowers. You know, that when the interviewer said to David Grush, why aren't these people coming forward? And he said they fear for their safety. And she said, why have you come forward? And he said, for my own personal safety. So you can guarantee your personal safety by going on global social media platforms or television networks and just telling people what you know, and then you're guaranteed not to be bumped off, according to David Grush. Now, I've got some details here, supposedly, about Elizondo's book, and this is an aircraft because I've mentioned it before. We've got a little aerodrome over there, a turboprop, probably a Royal Flying Doctor plane, that one. Now, apparently, in his book, now I think this was on the Apple website or something, imminently coming, this book from Lou Elizondo, and it's going to talk about the Roswell crash site. How many times has that been written about? It's been dismissed as being Mogul Balloon String number 4. Put a line through the first one on the list. The Phoenix Lights, military flares, Area 51, done to death, sightings and conspiracies. So his publishers are probably expecting some exclusive bombshell ET information that's going to be fairly recent, you know, from when Lou was at the Pentagon. Not all this regurgitated science fiction rubbish that's been done to death how many times? So what really, you know, is the point of this? You know, he's probably going to be writing about some of his television series, The Unexplained. But it's unexplained. So really, you know, people that are psyching themselves up for this book, I think are going to be seriously disappointed, because it's, if he's going to have to talk about Roswell, Phoenix Lights, Area 51 and sightings, that's just people telling people about what they've seen, it's going to be a waste of time, isn't it? It's all done to death. I'm sure that, you know, if I was a publisher and someone came to me and said, look, I used to run this top secret program with the Pentagon, I want to write a book about it, I'd sign him up straight away. Ooh, yeah, I'll have some of that. Be some exclusive, juicy new stuff about extraterrestrials visiting this planet. It's not going to be in there, is it? There's not going to be one item in there that relates to that. So it's got, as I said yesterday, in yesterday's video, it's going to be a complete waste of time. I hope the pages are not too shiny, because, you know, it's going to be arse paper, really. Might as well be useful for something, mightn't it? Now, Tim Burchett, I did actually leave a comment for Tim Burchett on the Tim Burchett YouTube channel, saying, look, Tim, with this Schumer amendment or whatever it is, all these 64 pages or whatever it was, it's never going to get through. There's too much in there. Give them a one-pager and just separate UAP and ET, one-pager. Just disclose anything relating to ET crash retrievals, extraterrestrials visiting this planet. Now, he's almost done that, but not quite. You haven't quite got the hang of it, Mr. Burchett. So now he's got a two-pager, but he's still asking for everything to be released on UAP. This is the problem. So if you watch this, Mr. Burchett, take UAP, UFOs out of the amendment, the bill. He's put a new two-page bill into Congress to declassify all UAP files within 240 days. Now, I don't know if he's aware of the other thing I mentioned yesterday, where the NDAA, I think it is, has said that they want everything submitted to Congress, to the government, by the 20th of October this year, classified or not. They want everything they've got, so they can disclose it to the public. Classified or not, they want to disclose it to the public. And I'm wondering if Tim Burchett is aware of that. Well, Mr. Burchett, if you're watching this, you're almost there. You're down to your two-pager, but it's still going to get knocked back because you've got UAP in there. Take the UAP out and ask for everything relating to extraterrestrial visitation, extraterrestrial technological and biological recovery to be submitted to Congress and to be released to the public. If there's anything there, release that information to the public and put this to bed once and for all. Of course, I strongly suspect if he does that, there will be nothing revealed. Nothing will be found, because nothing of extraterrestrial origin is in the possession of the United States or anybody else. ET doesn't come here. ET certainly doesn't come here and crash. We certainly can't shoot ET down. We certainly can't capture ET with a radar beam. Oh, radar. Oh, they would never have seen that before. Complete and utter drivel. So that's all you need, Mr. Burchett. Just a one-page bill. ET. Take the UAP out. What you've got there, just take UAP, UFO out of it and submit that. That way it won't get tied up in all this classified stuff, you know, because there are terrestrial adversarial UAPs. How they're tracked and what sort of signals you get from them and all that will be classified, and it's going to tie this up in knots forever. Separate UAP and UFO from ET. and you'll soon find there is nothing whatsoever to ET coming here. I was looking at Stephen Bassett yesterday on some podcast, and he's still beating the the truth embargo. The truth embargo drum. But I think Mr. Bassett may have seen one or two of my videos, because now I've never ever seen him mention this before. But when he speaks of free energy now, he says, well, it won't actually be free. You know, I mean, if you're going to need a box in your house to convert the free energy that's all around us into power that we can use, into your, here, in the case of Australia, 240 volt, 50 hertz, mains power to run everything in the house. A little box in the corner, probably be made by Tesla, you know, or SpaceX. Probably made by a company owned by Musk anyway, even if you set up the Musk 0-point power company, you know. It's not going to be free. You're going to have to buy the box. You're going to have to pay for it to be repaired. You're going to have to pay for it to be maintained. Now, I have never ever seen anybody anywhere on any channel mention that. Before I put a couple of videos out saying exactly that. It's no more. It will be no more free than solar power. You know, because solar power, you need solar panels, and you need a little unit to convert that into energy we can actually use. If free energy was real, which it isn't, you're still going to need a box to convert that energy into something we can use. Never ever seen anybody mention that. The only person, as far as I know, that ever mentioned that anywhere was myself. And now Stephen Bassett is saying the same thing. So I suspect Mr. Bassett has watched my video. Or I'll probably mention that in more than one video. But you know, he's wasting his time. There's nothing to disclose. He's going to be seriously disappointed. He thinks he's going to see disclosure before he drops off the perch. He isn't. You know, none of us are, because they're not coming here. They've never been here. It's all science fiction rubbish. There's not a scrap of tangible evidence that anybody can produce anywhere in the world. Not one person can produce a bit of tangible evidence to prove ET is coming here. And as I've said over and over again, if there was, Musk would pay them a bundle of money, and Musk would be saying aliens are here, not aliens are not here. And yeah, just on that Musk thing again, I was looking at that Ross Coulthard thing, you know, and he goes, oh, if Musk was read in, you know, and if this and if that, and he's trying to create intrigue. He's trying to keep this subject afloat, because interest in it is waning. And the UFO fanboys, that little core of people, the industry, are trying to prop it up, you know, a bit like these. Prop it up, prop it all up, keep it up. Because the interest is waning, and it's waning quite rapidly. You know, people that used to think, well, there might be something to this, are now saying, it's all rubbish. You know, they set something up specifically to look at this within the Pentagon. None of these people are turning up to give their information. None of them are producing any evidence. Where is the evidence? Where are all these whistleblowers with the first-hand experience, with the tangible evidence that can actually prove this is happening? They're just not there. And of course, the people on the other side of the fence, you know, that are trying to convince people that there is something there, keeping it all propped up, are making every kind of excuse under the sun why they can't prove that it's actually happening. They don't want to talk to Arrow. MUFON don't want to talk to Arrow. Well, who do they want to talk to? Let's just ask them who they want to talk to. What's happened with regard, now that Sean Kirkpatrick has left Arrow and there's this new fella in, what are they saying about him? Are they saying they don't want to talk to him? Why aren't they talking to him? Why aren't they talking to Arrow? As I said yesterday, it's because they know Arrow is in a position to check out what they say, and it will be revealed very quickly that they're talking complete and utter rubbish. They're repeating science fiction drivel they've heard from the people that have been peddling this for years and years, you know, and there's just no substance to it whatsoever. So, you know, Lou Elizondo's being threatened now. You know, he's feeling well. He's not suicidal. So if he dies soon, look at it as some sort of, you know, investigate it, because it will be a suspicious death, regardless of what anybody tells you. That's what he's saying. And that's going to be, you know, another delaying tactic. You know, that's why his book's been delayed. It's been delayed and delayed and delayed. And if all that's going to be in there is, you know, Roswell, Phoenix Lights, Area 51, sightings and conspiracies, you know, what's going to be in there that's not already been on his TV program unexplained? I think it's going to be a complete waste of time. And he's sitting on it for as long as possible, because he knows that once it comes out, everyone's going to laugh at it. Everyone's going to be falling around laughing. And someone was saying, I was looking at another podcast, and they were saying, oh, isn't it a good job that, you know, the Soul Foundation and Danny Sheehan's think tank have been established, you know, so that they can think about this stuff and come up with protocols for it and all this, you know. No, they're wasting their time. They must know they're wasting their time. There's no point coming up with a load of protocols with how to deal with ET. ET's not coming here. And if ET did turn up, I doubt they're going to be very interested in their protocols. The whole thing is a complete waste of time. And the university course I mentioned in a previous video, they're going to do a master's course on the 6 species of ETs that potentially could be coming to the planet. I mean, it's rubbish. There's no evidence for one species of extraterrestrials visiting this planet. Not one. No tangible evidence. Not a scrap. People get visited by aliens all the time, get abducted all the time. Not one selfie. No, with a little alien. You know? I mean, not that that would be necessarily proof, but it would be something. Don't see any of that. It's all in the head. You know, it's all drivel. So, you know, the university course, they may as well be teaching the Nazis won the Second World War. Adolf Hitler is alive and well and has been living in Buckingham Palace since 1945. They might as well teach, they might as well put on a master's course that teaches that. Of course, you can teach it. That's what's going on, you know. So you do your essay, do your dissertation, read back what they've taught you, and you're going to get you're going to get your master's degree, aren't you? But it's meaningless, because what they've taught you is complete and utter rubbish. And it's going to be the same with their ET course. They can't tell you, oh, the Greys are coming here, you know, with this, that, and the other, you know, pros and cons for the Greys coming here, you know. Pros and cons for them being demons, for goodness sake. There is no fact to any of this. It's complete and utter nonsense. Doing a university course at master's level on it is a complete and utter waste of time for anyone other than those giving the course and taking the money for it. You're going to have a master's degree that's arse paper, you know, because because none of it's real, there's no tangible evidence for any of it. How are they going to know what to teach? You've got little greys and the big greys, and you've got the reptilians, you know, and some of the reptilians, people tell me, have really, you know, they're really quite friendly. You know, this is drivel. Unless it's backed up by tangible evidence, science fiction stories like that should not be taught at university. Not as fact, anyway. So if you want to do a course in science fiction, yeah, by all means, you know, introduce as many characters as you like. But if you're teaching a course that's supposedly based in fact, then that is pointless. I mean, it's unreasonable. I mean, it may even fall into the con category, mightn't it? If I was putting a university course on, I'm teaching people that aliens are coming here and all this sort of stuff, and they're not, and I'm taking their money, you know, 10 grand a semester or whatever it is for teaching them this stuff. What does that make me? So there you go. So anyway, I think that's about it. It's only a quick one, just a bit of an amendment to the last couple of videos that I did. I missed out on the Elizondo being threatened nonsense. Doesn't say by who, because if he said by who, someone could check it out. Stephen Greenstreet could check it out and say, well, no one's threatening him. This is all rubbish, you know, it's embellishment to try and prop up this science fiction rubbish. Stephen Bassett, post-disclosure world, what it's going to be like. He's got no idea. There's not going to be any disclosure, so he's not going to have to worry about it. He's talking about free energy device in your house to convert the free energy into power we can use. I strongly suspect that's lifted straight from one of my videos. Thanks for watching, Mr. Bassett. And that John Stewart, you know, the pudding-faced guy that's always smiling. He looks like Mr. Potato Head, I think, personally, but personal opinion, just a bit of fun, Mr. Stewart. Feel free to have a go at me in the comments. I said I explained the vertical line because he said he'd spoken to a number of PhDs. None of them could identify the piece of equipment that was showing the moving vertical line monitoring the alien. And I said, well, it was a very dark scene. It was shot in silence. This is the rubber alien, you know, alien interview video. Obviously a fake. And I did a video and I actually showed with an oscilloscope. I didn't explain it, I demonstrated it. Put the oscilloscope on the table, turn the time base off, and you get a green dot at the bottom of the screen. When you touch one of the probes, modulates the X amplifier. The vertical line goes up and down the screen. I could make it do it while I spoke, exactly as it appeared in the alien interview video, even with a little green dot at the bottom. It's obviously an oscilloscope. So I demonstrated the effect they used. I didn't just explain it, I demonstrated it. If anyone would like to see that demonstration again, I'll do another video just with that demonstration with an oscilloscope. All of this stuff is fake. All of it is rubbish. It's an industry. People are making money out of it. They're doing television programs. They're writing books. Eventually. You know, they've got talking appearance fees. It's an industry. They don't want to hear people telling the truth, saying there's nothing to this. It's all science fiction. And I've said before, Mr. Burchett, get Hal Puthoff, Eric Davis, David Grush, put them in your car, go to Arrow, sit down and record their depositions to Arrow in your presence. Then there's no, oh, you know, Arrow distorted this, Arrow didn't want to talk to me about that, because you will be present, you will know for sure. You may even have your own copy of the interviews. That's the way to do it. Then there's no argument, is there? Mr. Burchett, just invite David Grush, Eric Davis, Hal Puthoff, just for a bit of comedy relief. Bob Lazar. Get them all in your car, get them over to Arrow, and get them deposed. Under oath, all recorded, so that Arrow can thoroughly check out what they are saying and report back to you. Maybe you could meet Luna and Getz and some of the other Congress people there, because the Congress people are choosing to believe Grush, you know, and Davis and Hal Puthoff and all those sort of, they're not saying to them, okay, we want to see the tangible evidence. Take us and show us where these recovered alien spacecraft is. Show us where you got the aliens in jars. Show us the specimens. All go together as a group to Arrow. All of the UFO, the Congress UFO caucus, all of them. Tim Burchett as well, Eric Davis, Hal Puthoff, David Grush, Bob Lazar, all over to Arrow, all sit around, you know, have a nice lunch, get all the depositions out, record it all, and get Arrow to thoroughly check out what they're telling you. That will get to the bottom of it. And it will come back that there is nothing there. Absolutely nothing to ET coming to this planet. It's ridiculous. Okay, well, I think that's... Can't really see the viewfinder here because it's a bit bright out here. Yeah, oh, there's one final note, and that's regarding Lou Elizondo. I might have actually mentioned this, but you know, whenever he's being interviewed, he always wears the baseball cap, and he always goes like that. You know, oh yeah, ask him a real question, not these fluffy questions. Ask him a real question. It's stroking the goatee. I can't talk about that. Can't talk about it. He certainly can't write about it, can he? Resigned his position because his boss wouldn't make the stuff they know about UAPs public. He said, I'm going to resign and I'm going to make it public. And he never made it public. His book is not going to contain any exclusive bombshell stuff. Nothing recent. He's going to be talking about all the old, done to death rubbish. The Roswell crash site, mogul balloon, Phoenix lights, military flares, Area 51, nothing ET related there. Secret technology is tested, of course, but you know, it's not ET related. Sightings and conspiracies. Nothing whatsoever new there, is there? There's no doesn't say anything about exclusive modern interactions with extraterrestrials, does it? So personally, I'll be saving my money, unless I'm short of arse paper, of course. I'll have to be really desperate to spend $20 on arse paper. But, I think that's about it. And of course, our old mate Ross Coulthard, I think I called him Dave Coulthard yesterday. Sorry, Mr. Coulthard. Is making up all this stuff, and he's embellishing all this stuff. He's saying, oh, if Musk was read in, you know, and if he was read in, you know, he might say this and he might say that. And this is all just, where's it come from? It's just come out of thin air. There's no one in a position of authority that's telling Coulthard that he hasn't been told this by anybody. You know, it's just these people trying to put a bit of intrigue into the subject to keep it going, to prop it up. I think I've used that prop a bit too many times, to be perfectly honest. I thought, when I started the video, I thought it was a good idea. As always, thank you very much indeed for watching. If you've struggled through the video all the way to this point, and maybe I'll catch you again.